February the 24th, 2023. Guys, this is an image, from a couple weeks ago of the train wreck up in Palestine, Ohio. And shout out to you folks in the comments last night mentioning that they're shipping this water to Texas. I looked into it, and they are, and it's going to Deer Park in the Houston area. And someone else asked, is that where Deer Park bottle of water comes from? And I'm not sure about that. But they are doing it. A judge there in Houston, she did a video report about it, and she did a conference about it that was videoed. And she said she didn't know about it until a week after they started. And she mentioned that there's a couple of other sites much closer to the Ohio area that disposes of this type of waste too. They're injecting it into the ground, and old drill sites and things like that. So I'm sure it won't get into any drinking water. But what they're saying is that toxic wastewater from Ohio train derailment is moved to Texas. It says that toxic wastewater used to extinguish a fire following a train derailment in Ohio has been transported to a Houston suburb for disposal. According to a county official in Texas who said there are outstanding questions about the transportation and disposal of the material. Being injected underground, guys, is just a way to hide it, like sweeping it under the rug while you destroy the future of the population in those areas. Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo said at a press conference yesterday that 500,000 gallons, or 500,000 gallons of this wastewater had been delivered to Deer Park, Texas. That's 1.8 million liters. I know that our community was taken back by the news just as I was, she said. I also want folks to know there are many things we don't know that we should know. That doesn't mean that something is wrong, and I want to stress that point. She wasn't trying to panic anyone, but she's very concerned. Hidalgo said the county on Wednesday learned of the wastewater transfer from the site of a fiery February the 3rd derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, which prompted evacuations when toxic chemicals were burned after being released from 5 derailed tanker rail cars carrying vinyl chloride that were in danger of exploding. The wastewater has been delivered to a company called Texas Molecular, which injects hazardous waste into the ground for disposal. It just doesn't make sense, guys. The company told KHOU-TV, that's in Houston, it is experienced in managing this type of disposal. They're saying that our technology safely removes hazardous constituents from the biosphere. We are part of the solution to reduce risk and protect the environment, whether in our local area or other places that need the capabilities we offer to protect the environment, the company said. Hidalgo said Texas Molecular informed county officials that it had taken delivery of 500,000 gallons of firefighting water with the expectation of an additional 1.5 million gallons hauled to the site by about 30 trucks per day. It is a very real problem. We were told yesterday the materials were coming, only to learn today they've been here for a week. There you go, EPA. This was, again, the Judge Hidalgo, who wants more information on precautions taken at the injection well. The delivery also raises questions about the methods of transport, which she said may include trains, and the possible health impact on workers involved in the transfer and the communities between the Ohio crash site and the disposal area in Deer Park, one of 32 communities in Harris County. Uncertainties remain even after discussions between the county and officials from the Federal Department of Transportation and the EPA, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, and other industry and environmental experts. The government officials have rapidly provided the information they have, but what we're learning is that they themselves don't seem to have the full information. She said, I'm not clear on who has the full picture of what is happening here, and that is a problem. When you got all these 3-letter names from government agencies getting involved, no one will know the truth. She noted Harris County has around 10 injection wells capable of receiving hazardous commercial waste, making the area one of the few places where the materials could be disposed. But she said there are similar facilities in Vickery, Ohio, and Romulus, Michigan, that also could handle the wastewater and are located much closer to the crash site. So why are they sending all these trucks and now the possible trains that far south into another red state? Tell me. There may be logistical reasons for all of this. There may be economic reasons. Perhaps Texas Molecular, she said, outbid the Michigan facility. Lodego said it doesn't mean there's something nefarious going on, but we do need to know the answer to these questions. So it's a bidding war on who gets the poison. Where is Greg Abbott? There's so much going on in Texas, and he comes in and talks a big talk, and you have all of this happening. And it will be interesting if we hear from Greg Abbott about this at all. It says Dr. George Gillian, Executive Director of the Environmental Institute of Houston, said the chemical is very, very toxic, but the risk to the public is minimal. This injection, in some cases, is usually 4,000 or 5,000 feet down below any kind of drinking water aquifer. A University of Houston Clear Lake professor of biology and environmental science, that's Dr. George Gillian. Gillian and Deer Park resident Tammy Baxter said their greatest concerns are transporting the chemicals more than 1,300 miles from East Palestine to Deer Park. There has to be a closer deep well injection, Baxter told KTRK. It's foolish to put it on the roadway. We have accidents on a regular basis. It is silly to move it that far. Transportation Secretary Pete, who visited the derailment site Thursday, has warned the railroad responsible for the derailment, Norfolk Southern, to fulfill its promises to clean up the mess just outside of East Palestine and help the town recover. Pete also announced a package of reforms intended to improve rail safety while regulators try to strengthen safety rules. Yes, we believe you, Pete. 100% we believe you. No doubt you and the rest of your administration are 100% honest about everything that you do. And Brandon won by 80 million votes. But guys, this is what's going on, and I appreciated, again, the comments in the video last night talking about this. You folks in Texas, be careful. Someone in that area, if you can do a deep dive into this, I'm not saying go on property side or anything. I'm talking about getting into the details of information that you can find about the wells, the safety of the wells. Get it to us. We'll dig a little bit further or do a video and come on our channel and say I've done the video on Deer Park and the injections. We'll link to your channel, send some folks over there, but find out what you can about this. It reminds me of the BP oil spill. It reminds me of things that occurred down in Bayou Corn with that big sinkhole. We covered all of that stuff, you remember? And still there are restrictions in Corn Bayou. But guys, we're watching this. You watch it. Again, pay attention to what they're doing. And again, as bad as it is to dump it there, it's just as bad to transport it that 1,300 miles by rail and trucks on Pete's super highways and super nice railroad tracks. But again, heads up, be safe.